Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. So we're just going to give it a couple minutes for everyone to get in from the waiting room. But our team here at Forté is really excited to be hosting this session with you all. So we'll get started in just a few moments because I do know that we have a couple more people joining in from the waiting room. And then we will make sure we get started as soon as possible. But again, for those that are just joining, welcome, welcome. We're really excited to have you here. All right. Hey, everyone. Thank you for attending here today. We're really excited to have you here. I believe a couple more people just came in from the waiting room. But yeah, we're just really excited to offer this content for our audience here at Forté. So my name is Alexia Brewster. I am the program manager here at Forté for the professionals team. So part of the professionals team offers these workshops called Leadership Coach. Leadership Coach, if this is your first time attending one, is actually a part of Forté's affiliate membership tier. If you're familiar at all with Forté, we actually have 3 different memberships. So Leadership Coach is under that umbrella of affiliate. So just a heads up with that. Some people ask me like, well, what is Leadership Coach or what do you have to offer with this program? So I like to explain it. It's a 30-minute shot of espresso type of professional development series. So we have a rotating schedule of different topics that are of interest to a lot of different professionals out there that we kind of discuss together as a group. So we have always like a co-presenter or a main presenter that's going to be talking or guiding us through the topic. And then for about 10-15 minutes, and then followed by that will be an open discussion where you're more than welcome to raise your hand to come off mute and add your thoughts and opinions and things like that. Otherwise, if you're more comfortable chatting, you can always use the chat feature, and we'll be sure to check that out, either myself or the speaker, just to make sure we're getting your opinions and voice out there as well as we have that discussion. So with that, we're going to dive right into it. So for today's leadership coach, it's called Mentorship Unplugged. Our speaker today is Toni Phelan, and she is currently an MBA Program Manager at Forté. So she's one of my colleagues here. She has over 10 years of experience working in higher education, specifically in career services and alumni engagement. She has experience creating mentorship and job shadow programs, providing coaching on effective internship and job searching, facilitated workshops on various professional development topics. So she really has run the gamut when it comes to mentorship opportunities with her professional experience. She also obtained her BA in psychology and an MA in educational psychology from University of Minnesota, Twin Cities. So again, I am really excited to open the floor up to her to kind of talk about this topic that's really on a lot of people's mind, which is mentorship. So Toni, you can go ahead and take it away.
Great. Thank you so much, Alexia. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to talk with you all today, and we're going to dive right in because we don't have a ton of time. So we'll start things off with talking about what mentoring actually is. And so we've got a couple of experts on the topic who are quoted here. But the main thing to think about is mentorship is largely a relationship between 2 different people. And it's about developing somebody, guiding them, teaching them, helping to bring them along and help them along the way in developing their career. So again, the knowledge, providing guidance, learning from someone's experience, potentially getting connections from that person. But that's really kind of there's a mentor and a mentee, and that mentor is teaching the mentee. So this is just a little cartoon to demonstrate that. So the emphasis is on showing, giving advice. It's a lot of show and tell, and somebody using their experience to teach the mentee. So this says, I'm looking for a mentor who can show me how to get rich without boring me with a lot of advice. So mentorship is not always about getting rich, but it can be a little perk if you're getting some career advancement from it. So mentoring functions and outcomes. A mentor advises and counsels, they coach, they provide feedback, they role model for their mentee, and they potentially connect mentees with others. That's not necessarily something that you should always expect from a mentorship relationship, but it can be something that comes along with it naturally. So it is possible to have many mentors, and you likely will have many mentors as your career goals develop, as they change, as you move up in your career path or change directions. And mentees largely seek advice. Mentorship is kind of considered a safe place. It's the place that you would ask questions that you might not be able to ask your boss or your direct supervisor or somebody even within your own organization. You might look for mentors outside of your organization. So mentorship can look like personal and career growth, which is correlated with increased job performance, as we've talked about a little bit. It can also look like organizational socialization. So that's looking at the organizational culture, the norms. Maybe it's a colleague, somebody that you just started working with who's been at an organization for a while and can kind of tell you, okay, here's how things kind of work around here and help you in that way. And then there's also the leadership development piece. So as far as being coached on leadership specifically. So if you want to move into a managerial role or you want to eventually lead people, mentorship can be a good way to learn how to do that by looking at role models who currently do that in their career. So you may have heard the term sponsor, maybe not, but you may have heard the term sponsor, and that's slightly different than a mentor. So I want to talk about the differences here. The relationship at the heart of sponsorship is not between proteges or mentees and mentors, but it's often thought between sponsors and an audience. So the people they want to sway to the side of their mentees. So it's a little bit more of speaking about you when you're not in the room in a positive light to help you advance in that way. Another way to think about it is a mentor talks to you. They talk to you in a safe space. And you're in the room together or over Zoom together or over the phone, whatever works for you. And then a sponsor talks more about you. They advocate for you, they champion you, and they're kind of more of an influencer to help you move forward in your career. So this just kind of outlines the differences between a mentor and a sponsor once again. Ultimately, sponsors do have some skin in the game. So that's kind of that difference, like what we talked about before, how mentors, they're not always going to be that connector for you. Sponsors likely will be. They'll be the person to make that connection, to help you advance, to connect you with the right people, and say good things about you to those people. So mentorship can evolve into sponsorship and vice versa. For example, if you have a strong connection in your organization, and they begin to vouch for your work, that mentor that you've had that strong connection with, who kind of showed you the ropes, might end up starting to sponsor you and help you advance within that organization. Or if you have kind of a natural sponsor right away, like a supervisor or a boss that you connect with, they might speak really positively of you right away. And then one of you might leave the organization, one of you might move to a different department, and that person might turn more into a mentor. So instead of being able to sponsor you within your own organization, they might become that kind of trusted advisor who you go to with advice, and can kind of continue to role model for you and help you in that way. So a little bit of a tweak on this cartoon so that it makes more sense for sponsorship. I'm looking for a sponsor who can create opportunities to get rich without boring you with a lot of advice. So it's not as much about the advice piece, it's more about that opportunity creation. Okay, so I know I went through that a little bit quickly, but I want to give time for our discussion piece. So at this point in your career, you have hopefully and probably had a mentor of some kind, whether it's a long-term mentor, a short-term mentor, somebody that was in an organization that you worked at, somebody that was maybe an alum of a school that you attended, and you may have also had a sponsor. So as we're kind of talking about these things, people are potentially coming to mind for you. And I would love for anyone in the audience to share some key information about your mentors, either current or past. How do you know that person? How did they become that mentor for you? Did you seek them out? Was it more of a natural relationship that developed? And talk about kind of how they've helped you, what advice they've given you, what have you learned from them? Yeah, anything that you would want to share. So if you want to raise your hand, you can do that and come off mute. Or you can use the chat and put things there, however you prefer to give that information.